Welcome back, adventurers. I'm your host, R.R. Slugger, and today we're traveling deeper into India on our Orient expedition. This is set 7414, Elephant Caravan. In this set, we're finally introduced to our primary villain for the series, the inscrutable Sam Sinister. Now, I've already aired my grievances over the mishandling of character names within Adventurers, and this incarnation of Sam Sinister is really no different. Though these characters have adopted many names over the years, in addition to their myriad of regional differences, I think it's fair to say that these two original antagonists were slowly fused together over time, resulting in the Sam Sinister we have before us. This goes uncommented on by our heroes in an almost sort of weird form of gaslighting. What do you mean he used to be a baron? Nah, that's Lord Sam Sinister, always has been. The LEGO Group's indecision within the naming conventions in Adventurers really hurts the theme's overall continuity, at least in my eyes. It's not so bad with the heroes, but I find it hard to keep track of who we're talking about here. Is this the same guy who followed them to Dino Island, or isn't it? Maybe it's a Liquid or Revolver Ocelot scenario. Regardless, here he is, and he'll look about the same in every set he's included in. I find that his lack of smile and solitary nature makes him come across as somewhat desperate and lonely, actually. It's sad to think about, but even after allying himself with powerful figureheads in these regions, he just keeps losing to Johnny Thunder. Maybe it's time to look for another line of work, Sam. Moving on to our heroes, let's start with the renowned journalist Miss Pippin Reed. Here she has her updated face print design and is sporting some new attire. This torso print is actually one of my favorites from this series and is exclusive to this set. It looks like she's also given up lugging that old movie camera around with her and has instead opted for smaller equipment geared towards photography. Her choice of camera, though, does make me question its origin. Both the torso print and the physical piece itself seem to depict a style anachronistically advanced for the 1920s. Maybe Dr. Cyber helped her out with this one. Our third character included in this set is none other than Babloo. Babloo is a local denizen who helps our adventurers when they arrive in India. In search of both the Sunstone and the Scorpion Palace, Babloo serves as a guide for the group as they travel within lands unfamiliar to them. Along with Pippin, this minifigure is exclusive to this set and actually features 3 distinct pieces that would never reappear. Curiously, both the back of the box and the online comic hint at a prototype face print design that we never saw in full. I think they made the right decision with the final version, though. Babloo is a fun, unique minifigure that totally deserves a day of celebration, in my book. Though he's often seen depicted with a monkey, sadly no such inclusion is present here. Instead, however, we receive something much larger and more notable. What sort of elephant caravan would be complete without an elephant? This massive mammal is well realized here and constitutes a significant amount of the bulk within this set. These dark gray limbs and body parts are all based upon the LEGO Dinosaurs theme that came out a couple years prior and serve as a brilliant reuse of that system. The ratcheting joints allow for advanced articulation, making this a truly exceptional rendition of the animal. Most other LEGO elephants are essentially giant blocks of plastic with printing on them, but Orient Expedition does something unique with the creature that has yet to be topped, even today. Because of the distinctiveness behind this animal, aftermarket prices are notably high. While a light gray version was included in the Scorpion Palace set, you'll actually find that the dark gray elephant is scarcer and more expensive. This is due to the Elephant Caravan apparently having been some sort of retailer exclusive in some regions. There's just less copies of this set in the wild, and I think it's a shame because it contains some really excellent elements. One such addition is this cloth blanket adorning the elephant. Set exclusive, like so many other pieces here, cloth elements used to provide an added touch of class to certain sets, expanding beyond the limitations of the brick. Analogous to assessing the condition of sails on used LEGO ships, this saddle blanket is a set critical item, as it serves as the only connection point for the passenger cart in tow. Make sure it's in good condition before buying one used. Capping everything off is this brown basket piece, making for a humble place to ride. I believe Babloo is a mahout, or elephant trainer, though I'm not so sure he's a good one. If I'm being honest, the barbaric conclusion of this whip paints Babloo in a rather negative light. This is not a traditional elephant training tool in India, and closely mirrors the real-world abuse that some of these unfortunate animals suffer. A valia coal or long pole would be a much more appropriate instrument. Luckily, this flagpole can be easily repurposed into one. Before we move on to the cart itself, there are still a couple more notable elements that serve as connection points. To begin with, I was simply shocked to learn that these red joust poles are still set exclusive to this day. In addition, a pair of exceptionally rare brown system bar connectors attached to the carriage, linking the assembly. The cart itself bears traditional rickshaw design elements, and this form of transportation would have been popular in India in the 1920s. Pippin is the sole occupant here, though there's also a large basket for storing tools. Overall, it more than gets the job done, using just enough of the part budget to effectively deliver on the idea. The final build in this set is that of Sam Sinister's four-wheeled transportation. The design of this small car harkens back to similar models from previous sub-themes, yet I can't help but feel somewhat underwhelmed by this one. I don't know if it's just me, but I find the typical creativity we see in these builds to be somewhat lacking here. The radiator cap and headlights are a nice touch, don't get me wrong, but the notable lack of license plate and printed windscreen elements makes this one feel phoned in. This is the last full-size jalopy we would receive from adventurers, and it just feels like a shame to go out like this. I know some longtime viewers have been asking for more set modification ideas in these recent videos, and while I oftentimes don't have many meaningful suggestions, let's take a crack at this model because I think it needs some help. First off, modern snot bricks can help us slap a license plate on the back of the vehicle with ease. The dynamite container is actually one element that works really well on the stock model, though the addition of a single 1x2 tile will make removing the plunger so much easier. I just lifted the engine block wholesale from the Island Racer and lastly replaced the windshield. Now I think we have a vehicle that's more in line with what we've come to expect from adventurers. Before we get into alternate builds for the Elephant Caravan, let's take a look at the board game elements that came with the set, namely 5 new cards. To begin with, we receive our first 2 hero minifigure cards. These cards list the skills that your chosen minifigure possesses innately. For Babloo, that would be 3 luck, 2 speed, and 1 strength. Every playable character uses an array consisting of these 3 numbers to determine their starting attributes. Pippin, on the other hand, has 2 luck, 3 speed, and 1 strength. That high speed skill might come in handy, but we'll talk about that at a later date. In order to enhance one's speed further, the whip can be acquired, offering a +2 bonus to the relevant skill. Again, I'm not in love with its inclusion here, but it may be sadly reflective of the malpractice sometimes surrounding these large animals. In addition to the hero minifigure cards, we also receive our first 2 transport cards. These transports can be mounted for a vast increase in speed around the game board. In order to operate a transport, you must either beat one of its challenges or have the corresponding bypass item. In this case, the before-mentioned whip will grant you safe passage. For the car, however, no bypass is possible, and the challenge thresholds are far more imposing. This is a mode of transportation for only the most decked-out players. Just like with Tigura's Roar, this set can be integrated into the board game once we reach the Scorpion Palace. When we get there, we will play through the game and follow the rule set as closely as possible. I anticipate that we may need to come up with some quality of life revisions though, which we'll try implementing on Mount Everest. For now, let's go back to bricks and take a quick look at both alternate builds. This first one makes clever use of the elephant and cloth piece, creating a pack mule-like setup with both rider and passenger. The side build appears to be a catapult contraption for launching Sam at his quarry. While this is ridiculous, I'll be darned, it works like a charm. The final alt build makes great use of the molded vehicle base to offer seating for both Babloo and Pippin aboard the elephant. Sam Sinister's mode of transportation is an aggressive-looking dragster with plenty of weapons of war in the rear. Both models are fairly interesting and might be worth checking out if you have the pieces. With that, we're nearly ready for our showdown at the Scorpion Palace. This will likely be a massive video, so it may take a while to cook up. In the meantime, we may have an opportunity to make an unlikely stop. Thanks for watching, everyone. I've been your host, RR Slugger, and I'll see you next time for another adventure.